This gets me fired up. You gotta love client wins, especially when those client wins start with internal shifts and result in external outcomes. In this video, I want to share the differences between the hustle hermit, which we have here, and the modern master. And my client character has been an incredible demonstration of what it means to embody the identity of the modern master. So firstly, the modern master is the identity that we step into in this journey of self-mastery, but we apply it to the modern age, the world that we live in today. So this identity was originally an idea that I came up with a number of years ago as I was trying to find more direction in my life and really define who I wanted to be as a man moving forward. And because I didn't have a lot of masculine guidance or leadership really growing up, I had to really design this character by understanding some of the greatest male leaders and then understanding more about the virtues, the values, the character traits that I want to embody moving forward. So in this video, we're going to share a little bit about what those two look like. And I want to compare it to the hustle hermit, which is something that we refer to when it comes to this older identity, this other version that is very common amongst men, especially when they're in the pursuit of their goals when it comes to sales or business or anything that's related to that. So we're going to break down the two in this video. So just for context, when I met Carter, he was doing around 2K a month with his marketing agency. And there was just so much potential there. There was so much potential for him to really step into this modern master identity. And he was already on that path, but I just wanted to help him accelerate it as much as possible. So there was a couple of wins he shared with me recently, and this is the reasoning for making this video because it was super inspiring to see. So over the last 45 days, he's made just over $10,000. He said he's let go of neediness, let go of attachment, and is now really in more of a peaceful state of mind. He also highlighted developing more of an abundant mindset, abundant thoughts, abundant beliefs, and then abundant actions to follow that, which is one of the core things that we worked on from the very beginning. He also highlighted that he's feeling this sense of exponential freedom, using the different tools that I've built out that he's been able to use to really dissolve any limiting beliefs, any dense emotions, and really just raise his energetic frequency by removing the sandbags, removing the density that was stopping him from being able to step into that role. And another thing you mentioned was that things are moving at hyperspeed. And this can happen when you start to remove some of the sandbags. Things can just start to accelerate at a really rapid rate, especially when you are focusing on the areas of self-mastery. And you're not so much focused on what you're doing, but you're more focused on how you're being and everything that we talk about on this channel. Things can start to accelerate much, much faster because the thing is, you can already be at this level and you have all this density pulling you back. And then when you release that, you just spring into an entirely different way of being. And it can feel like things are happening really, really, really fast, which is exactly what's happening for Carter right now. So like I said, the modern master is really the identity that is a staple of the direction for us to move in as men to really become that highest version of ourselves. And we're going to get into what that looks like. But first, to be able to really compare it to a past version of myself, a past version of many men out there, I want to show you what it looks like to be a hustle hermit. So the hustle hermit really spends all of his waking hours, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, hustling in front of his computer screen, looking for the next tactic, looking for the next strategy, looking for the next business how-to be able to grow his income, to be able to put himself on the path to financial freedom. He's looking for a new funnel. He's looking for the next objection handling matrix. He's looking for all these things to help him get to the next level, even though he already has stacks of these things in his tool belt to be able to use. He kind of finds himself searching for that next hack, that next strategy that's going to be able to help him get to that next level. He constantly finds himself inside of marketers' funnels buying the next thing. But the thing is with all of this, no matter how hard he tries, he still finds himself on a hamster wheel of sending cold DMs and not being able to attract the clients that he wants to attract or not being able to really get the opportunities that he wants. And he feels like everything is really, really hard all the time. And even though he sees himself as someone who works really, really hard, he does all the disciplines and he does all these things, he still doesn't seem to make the progress that he wants. It's almost like he's hitting this glass ceiling. He's looking up and he's seeing the pathway and he's seeing that he can do it and he believes in himself to a degree, but for some reason he just keeps hitting the glass. He just can't seem to find a way to break through. Now, on the other hand, you have the modern master. So the modern master does things a little bit differently. He works 2 to 3 hours a day on things he's extremely excited about, things that he loves to do. And he seems to effortlessly grow his income month after month without really looking like he's doing anything. He has people queuing up to work with him. He has opportunities flowing to him very, very effortlessly. And sometimes he even forgets to reply to some clients who are looking to work with him, and they have to follow up with him to be able to see, is he available, to make sure that he doesn't forget about them. Now, to build on this, let's look at some of the key characteristics and traits that the modern master embodies compared to 99% of people out there. Instead of being needy and attached to outcomes, the modern master is completely detached from needing anything. He knows who he is. He knows what he's here to do. He's completely in alignment with his mission and his purpose and focuses on the art of becoming rather than the art of achieving. And mastering this art allows him to have peace of mind. Then instead of basing his self-worth and confidence on achieving external outcomes, the modern master's self-worth and confidence is based on his own level of self-mastery, his integrity, his service to others, the light that he emanates in the world around him, from the small encounters to the big projects that he works on. And then instead of giving in to the programming of lack and scarcity and making all of his decisions from that place, the modern master is mentally and energetically in a state of abundance. His thoughts, his actions, his feelings all come from an abundant state of being, understanding that there is no lack of. There is plenty for everybody, which removes his attachment to people, which removes his attachment to money, his attachment to women, his attachment to material things. He doesn't need any of it, which allows more money, more women, and more things to actually flow to him in the process based on his energetic frequency and the intention that he set for himself. And instead of looking for the next best strategy to put himself on that path to financial freedom and being stuck behind a computer screen all day long, 24/7, the modern master focuses 80% of his time on dissolving limiting beliefs, building a deeper connection to source, mastering his mind, mastering his emotions, and mastering his energy. And then from that place of mastery, he takes intentional, focused action that allows him to move at hyperspeed on the 20% that he works on, working 1/10 of the hours that most men do. The list goes on. Now, of course, we all have our own aspirations and our desires as men, but the modern master identity is the staple that allows us to have direction and focus as a man so that we can live life in the best way possible. That is in harmony with the flow of the universe, where we are disciplined and focused on the right things, and we are moving in alignment with our mission, our purpose, and our values at all times. It's there to get clarity and direction in times of feeling lost, to know what to do in situations that challenge us so that we can rise up, and to remove any blocks that are stopping us from being able to move forward with pace. With all of this, it's really important to understand our core desire as men. The masculine energy within us has the core desire for freedom. This is why we create businesses. This is why we travel. This is why we learn skills so that we can create more freedom in our lives. But when we look back at the hustle hermit, for example, the pursuit of freedom and endless hustle does the opposite of create freedom. It creates more attachment to the need to always work all the time. And the pursuit of freedom actually becomes the trap that you get stuck in. And I've been there. The true freedom that we're really looking for as men comes from the mastery of self. If we dial it back to its simplest elements, the pursuit of freedom comes from the mastery of the mind, the mastery of the emotions, and the mastery of our energetic state of being. When we do these three things, we become unbreakable. We become unattached to outcomes or needing anything. And therefore, we actually experience the core freedom within ourselves that is always there and always present. We get that feeling by default. And then, only then, we start to materialize the things that we want in our life based on our core intentions that we have set for ourselves. But this is why the 80% is the mastery of these things here, because the core desire that we have as men, that is freedom, and that is the pursuit that we're on. Why is it that we create so much friction and so much chaos in our lives in this pursuit of freedom? It happens for a variety of reasons, but one of the core reasons is the limiting belief that we need to keep doing more to be able to create freedom. It's the illusion that you're somehow going to work hard enough to be able to arrive somewhere. Arrival anywhere is just an illusion. You have the ability within yourself right now, watching this video, to be fully present and to feel that freedom deep within your soul. And if there's any friction and resistance there to actually being in that moment, this is where the mastery of these three elements come into play. And when you master those things, you start to put yourself on this path to really understanding what freedom is. Now, I'm not saying that I have all the answers. I'm not saying I have it figured out. I'm on this journey just as much as you, brother. But we have to put ourselves on this path and commit to the journey of mastery if we truly want to achieve this freedom. Because the freedom does not come from the completion of tasks or stacking up different habits and doing a million different things on a day-to-day basis. That is part of it. That helps us grow when it serves us until it doesn't. We need to be careful where we're focusing our energy and time on. And if that is not focused on the 80% that gives us the results that we want, then an intervention must happen so that we can refocus and recalibrate and focus on the things that truly matter in our lives. So that being said, the identity of the modern master allows us to focus on the things that are going to yield us the biggest results. And when we do this, everything that we have in terms of our desires and our intentions materialize by default in our external world around us. And not only do we experience the things that we want, but we don't need them. We don't even want them at that point, but we get them simply by being the person, embodying that identity and mastering these three areas so that we feel the fulfillment as well as achieving the external success. True wisdom comes from learning the lessons that other people have experienced and then implementing them into your life so that you don't have to face those same challenges. It would be completely stupid to think that you have to go through the whole entire process of chasing all the material things to be able to learn the same lesson that you already were aware of and waste that amount of time in your human experience. When you understand this now, you can apply it directly now. This does not mean that you stop working towards material desires. They're not wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But you can do it from a different place. You can do it on the path of self-mastery. That's where you master the success in the external world around you, but also the internal fulfillment that comes from this as well. Both are equally as important. There's a quote from Tony Robbins that I'll paraphrase here, but there's a science to success and then there's the art to fulfillment. This is what we're all about when it comes to the way of the modern master. If you're interested in learning more about the way of the modern master and how that can apply to you, check out the first link below. You'll be able to check out a video here on YouTube that's going to walk you through what that looks like and how it works with me specifically. So if you feel called to watch that, check it out below and you'll be able to see more about that. So overall, with all of this being said, if there's one thing that you can do, commit to the path of mastery. Just make the decision today that you are going to commit to that journey. You're going to focus on how can I master my energetic state? How can I master my emotions? How can I master my mind? And when you commit to that, you have now knocked the biggest domino in your life, and everything that comes after this is going to serve you to the highest level. Thanks for being here. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Make sure to check out those links below as well if you want to learn more about what it looks like to work together and more about the modern master identity specifically. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next video.